Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's not time for another wacky couple hours here with Uncle Keith and Uncle Steve on 87 Sports Fans Live, the official radio show of 87sportsfans.com. Brought to you.
You're the creepy drunk uncle, right?
I don't like the word creepy. I might be drunk, but creepy might be pushing it.
You're creepy, Keith.
Powered by latenightsportsradio.com and brought to you, this and every broadcast, brought to you by CG Imaging at cg-imaging.com. CG Imaging, virtually creating reality. And also brought to you by The Lockbox, a thrilling spy novel by Mr. Stephen Taylor, available for digital download and paperback orders on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. The Lockbox by Stephen Taylor. Oh, what a week we've had, boys.
Yes.
What a week. And as a special treat for all of you baseball fans, we're going to launch into some MLB playoff talk. And joining us right now is Brad Cook from Out of the Park Developments, the company that brings you the fantastic baseball sim, Out of the Park Baseball. Brad, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Fantastic. So let's start with the basics now. Who's your favorite baseball team?
The Phillies.
Ugh. Really?
You didn't think he was going to say the Mets, did you?
No, I didn't think it was the Mets, but there's two teams that irk me, and that's the Yankees and the Phillies.
What happened to the Yankees and the Braves? I thought they were your two nemesis.
Yeah, but the Braves, ever since Chipper Jones retired, the Braves don't bother me so much. So, who are you pulling for in these playoffs right now, Brad?
Who am I pulling for? I can't say I'm pulling for anyone. I mean, I don't mind any of the teams that are in right now. It's the Royals. I think, if I like anyone, I probably like the Royals just because they're a lot of fun to watch and they seem to be really surging and, almost kind of have that team of destiny kind of in the field of them. And the small ball that they play is fun, it kind of goes back to, the 80s Cardinals and teams like that. So I guess if I'm pulling for anyone, it's probably them.
It's hard. We were talking about it last week. That series, there's really no bad guy in that series. You feel good for both of those franchises making it as far as they have. And the Royals, out 2-0, which... the first game, they won it with the long ball, but and we were talking before we went on the air. You guys over at Out of the Park, you guys are simming all of the games with your software beforehand, and you're publishing the blog. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find that blog, by the way?
Yeah, it's at blog.ootpdevelopments.com.
And you guys actually, the headline actually said Royals outslug Orioles to take game one. And like we were saying before we went on the air, I was like, that's not going to happen in real life. And sure enough, it does. So
yeah. It was funny when I simmed that. I kind of thought, how many people are going to ding us for being unrealistic? And but it's funny too because with Trevor Rosenthal in Game 2 of the Cardinals-Giants game, when I simmed Game 2, Rosenthal actually blew the save against the Giants. The Giants ended up winning that game. I know the Cardinals won Game 2 in real life, but Rosenthal had his problems in real life, and that happened in our sim as well. So we've kind of been close to reality with some of it.
There's no way to sim Colton Wong. There just isn't.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you come up with that, but that's what's interesting about baseball, right? I mean, who would have thought Colton Wong would smash a home run like that to win it? So that's the fun of baseball, and that's the thing about the park baseball too. Is you never know, anything can happen in the game, just like in real life.
We were talking on the Bob Sullivan show last night, which is the Sunday night show on our station. And as it happened, we said the Giants went the Wong way, threw the Wong pitch.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on a roll. We were wondering
I'm
if
glad I wasn't part of that show.
If he had a brother that played, you could say two wrongs make a right. But
oh my God,
we won't go there. So, Brad, how long have you guys been at this? You guys have been at this baseball sim game stuff for quite a while, no?
Yeah, the game's been around for 15 years. It was created by Marcus Heinzen, who's actually a Red Sox fan who lives in Germany, of all places. He still lives there now, and yeah, he created it back then. It's been an annual release since 1999.
So what separates your game from everyone else's as far as what makes your game the more captivating game?
I would say a lot of people love our game just because it has just an enormous amount of depth. I mean, you can go back to 1871 and play forward through baseball history. It's got tons of customization. You can just kind of play straight baseball, just kind of, play through history as it happened, or you can do things like introduce the DH much sooner than it happened, or free agency before it happened. You can mix it up and bring Babe Ruth into the present day, or throw a guy like Justin Verlander into the 1920s. There's just so many ways you can play kind of what-if games with it, and you can kind of customize it in so many different ways. I think that's what people really love about the game, and then you can just play forward. I mean, you can play. I've seen people play a couple hundred years into the future, just keep playing season after season, just running their team.
And if you want to call in and join the discussion, folks, 585-633-7487. That's 585-633-7487. You graciously provided me with a copy of the game, and I was playing it, and it is my dream sim because you have to do everything from hiring minor league hitting coaches throughout your franchise. It's just really all encompassing. Really, it's fantastic. And you guys just had an announcement now, which excited me, that you guys are coming out with a football game next year, correct?
Yeah, Beyond the Sideline Football. It's in development, and actually, that developer's in the UK. I'm the only American working for the company, but Francis Cole, who's previously worked on Football Manager. I don't know how many people out there are familiar with that. That's the big soccer sim that's huge in Europe, and Francis worked on that, but he's an NFL fan as well, and so he started developing that game and pitched it to Marcus. Marcus liked it and brought it on board, so it's still in development, and we're going to ship it sometime next year.
Oh, that's fantastic. So now, because there was a competitor came out with a game and it bombed. I'm not going to say the competitor's name. It bombed initially. How much is that kind of stuff on your guys' radar when you're developing a game? We pay attention to it. I assume you're talking about that recent football game that was released? Yeah, just last week, and it basically was trounced by the committee or the community.
Yeah. No, I won't mention the name either, but yeah, I know what you're talking about, and they really. To put it kindly, I guess they botched it. We do pay attention. We talk internally about all kinds of stuff, and that game was actually discussed, we're not too worried about it now. But we don't mind competition. We've got competition for out of the park baseball as well, like any area of capitalism, I mean, competition just kind of pushes us to make the game better.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at the other arenas, like in the console gaming market, 2K had the baseball exclusivity for a long time, and Madden, of course, has the NFL exclusivity once NFL 2K5 showed it up back in the day. And it's really tragic how the amount of innovation just doesn't seem to really... I mean, they come out with gimmicks for Madden every year, but there's no competition, therefore no impetus to really push the game forward. And so, like you said, competition is truly healthy. And you guys seem to because I've played a couple versions of the iOS version of your game for baseball, and it just seems like every year got better and better. And now this latest version is just really fantastic. It is though my first time playing the PC version. You guys have another game out too, right? Available?
Yeah, Franchise Hockey Manager, which debuted last year. and then we're working on the next version of that. It's an annual release, just like the baseball game. So yeah, that's our next game, and that really there was a game called East Side Hockey Manager that was around for a while, and then it was canceled several years ago, and it still has a pretty loyal following. So we're kind of the only player in that market right now as far as hockey goes.
So what's a development cycle like for your game? Like when do you release baseball typically? Like what time of year?
Well, we've already started working on Out of the Park Baseball 16, which will be out next year. We've got some pretty cool things in store for that. We've got a feature list that Marcus has put together. We've got forums where we talk. We've got beta testers who they all sign NDAs and they all have access to our beta forum, and that's where we kind of talk about features. And I mean, we got people who've been playing the game for years, so I mean, they sit there and they'll list out all the things they want to see in the game, and some of it really comes down to very little nitty gritty things like I want to see this menu option or I want to be able to look at this or that. And Marcus kind of takes all that to heart, and we just hired a second programmer to work with him. Well, we've got Andreas who's been working with Marcus for a while, but then we brought in a guy named Matt who's a programmer as well, and he's working on the baseball game now too. And so development will continue through the fall, and around January we get geared up for pre-orders for the game, and our beta testers start kind of getting hold of it and start eating it up, trying to find any bugs and kind of give us feedback. So we've got it, after 15 years now, we've got it down to pretty good science.
Well, 2 words for you when you think about us, beta tester. Okay, that's all.
Yes.
I'm going to float that out there.
Well, I can tell you, I'll definitely make sure you guys get preview copies of the game as soon as I can early next year. I know the beta team's pretty full, but I can certainly get you when I have preview copies for the media. I usually get copies out there, ahead of the public, the release date to the public.
And I will appreciate that. Thank you very much. So tell everybody where they can get the game, where they can go to get the game, because you guys are 100% download, right?
Yeah, everything's download only, and people can go to ootpdevelopments.com. They can read about Beyond the Sideline football there. They can find links to the hockey and baseball games, as well as links to the iOS baseball game you mentioned that's in the App Store. It'll take them right to the App Store where they can check that out. So, they can just go to ootpdevelopments.com and get everything they need.
All right. Before I let you go, I need to know who's your World Series prediction. Who's gonna represent the AL and the NL, and who's gonna win?
I'm going to go with Royals and Giants in the World Series. I can't say I'm necessarily going to pull for anyone. I think I'd like to see the Royals pull it out. I'd like to see a 7-game series. I want to see something pretty exciting. So I'm going to go with just kind of Royals in 7.
Nice and dramatic.
Nice.
The underdog coming through. I will say that one of the positives of San Francisco winning World Series now that Barry Bonds is retired is that I think his soul dies a little bit every time they win one without him.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's okay. I understand if you have to take the politically correct route. I totally understand. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Brad Cook from Out of the Park Developments. Get the game OOTP15. Search that. Follow them on Twitter at OOTP Baseball. Check out the hockey game and stay tuned next year for the football game. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic product. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
Anytime.
All right. Bye.
Fantastic.
That was great.
It was great. And let me tell you something. This game has owned my soul.
I can imagine. I hear the excitement in your voice.
Well, because like especially on Sundays and Thursdays, because I do producing duties for Bob Sullivan, and I'll have it in the background, and like it'll be like one of those things where I have to look down at the clock. I'm like, oh, it's almost time for a break, Bob. Oh, thank God one of us is paying attention because I'm.
That's great, knowing that the programmer is paying attention.
Hey, I'm sitting here. My face is looking at my monitor, so that's good enough.
Poor monitor.
Yeah. Right.
No, that was great though. I mean,